Hi everyone, it's time for another video blog. This blog is going to be on economic development in a global economy. And this will be a little different than my last video blog because it's actually sort of going to be the audiobook version of the blog post that I wrote a bit earlier. And the reason for that is I think this issue is so important that I wanted to make sure people had the opportunity to hear that blog if you haven't read it yourself, because this deals with the economic future of the city of Edmonton, but frankly the entire province. And so with that in mind, this blog post is going to be narrated by the author, in this case myself, and looking forward to sharing that with you right now. And it really started back in late May when I had the opportunity to attend the Collision Conference in Toronto, which is a large tech conference that brings together buyers and sellers of technology alongside many of the world's emerging technology companies. I was invited to be a part of the Innovate Edmonton delegation, and knowing that we have some major strengths in the tech area, for example, Edmonton is ranked 3rd globally in AI and machine learning research, I thought this would be a good opportunity to learn about what is happening in Canada and other parts of the world. And a week later, I attended the Federation of Canadian Municipalities Conference, or FCM, and that was held in Quebec City. FCM's membership is made up of municipalities from across the country, and they account for 90% of all Canadians. This yearly conference provides an opportunity for elected representatives to learn from each other and ideally apply those learnings in their own municipality. So I've attended every FCM, and when I attend any conference, my goal is to try to come away with at least one action item. Since these two are so close to one another, I found myself noticing a similar situation in both cities that I felt we should be discussing more regularly here in Edmonton. During the Collision Conference, I was able to tour the Mars Discovery District to learn more about how they are supporting startups in health, clean tech, fintech, and enterprise. So I won't go into detail here, but I would encourage you to visit their site to learn more about the excellent work they are doing. I also learned more about the innovation corridor that is set up between the Toronto region and Waterloo region, along with the innovation hubs that are in place in Quebec City and Montreal. One other interesting conversation I had was with representatives from the company Transpod, which is working on Hyperloop technology for different corridors in Canada. Getting to learn more about this work across the country was at first really exciting. But as I started to think about it further, I started to get a bit concerned. If major cities like Toronto and Montreal need to work together with other regions in order to be competitive in a changing economy, then what chance does Edmonton and the Edmonton region have operating on our own in a global economy? We are fortunate that all municipalities in the Edmonton Metropolitan Region Board are now closely working together in all areas, including economic development. And the creation of Edmonton Global is another positive step forward in attracting and retaining businesses in the Edmonton region. This new collaborative focus is critical, but after seeing what was happening in the rest of Canada and then researching what is happening in other parts of the world, I realized that we're not going to have long-term economic success operating as one city or just one region. So the question is, what do we do about this? Thankfully, there is already some work underway with Calgary. Recently, Innovate Edmonton and Platform Calgary came together to start working on an innovation corridor strategy. Considering that all industries are being impacted significantly by the tech sector, and knowing that other cities are already well ahead of us when it comes to that collaboration, this is work that has to be advanced quickly in order to take advantage of some of those current strengths in areas like AI that I've talked about a little bit earlier. And this work to strengthen our tech sector, it's encouraging. I believe but while that's encouraging, we also have to look at the relationship between both the Edmonton and Calgary regions to determine how we can grow all industries while focusing on our different strengths. For example, Edmonton has a fantastic reputation when it comes to post-secondary institutions. The U of A, MacEwan University, NAIT, Concordia, King's University, and Norquest, they work together with each other, and they each have their own specialty, which means we have excellent talent graduating from post-secondary institutions every year. This talent is exactly what companies are looking for in a changing economy. They want a variety of people, and every institution is able to contribute to the workforce of many companies in our two regions. And although we don't always like to admit it, Calgary does have more direct flights to cities across the world. And while Edmonton should absolutely continue to work to attract new direct flights, there may be value in working more closely with Calgary so that instead of duplicating services, we can complement each other and get more total flights to locations across the world. Calgary also has more corporate offices than Edmonton, and at times they have an easier time attracting foreign direct investment, or FDI. With our leadership in AI and machine learning, it would be valuable to have a more direct relationship so that new startups can access seed, angel, and venture capital funding. Edmonton needs a large investor network, but we have the talent and a fantastic ecosystem for startups. So working together with the Calgary region would allow us to increase both the total number of startups, but also increase the number of companies that move up from that startup phase. So these are just a few of the ideas on how I think we can work together. And I believe now is the perfect time to start engaging the Calgary region more directly on economic development. Our economy is shifting rapidly, and I know that many of us would want the pipeline to be built. But chances are that even if this happens, we have to seriously prepare for a future economy that isn't so reliant on our natural resources. That leaves us with a few choices. We can spend all of our time and resources on our natural resource economy and hope that a new pipeline returns us to the boom days of the previous booms, or we can continue to work to advance the pipeline while concurrently working with the Calgary region to increase our focus on truly diversifying our economy, since the rest of the world is already doing this. For me, there is really only one option. In a global economy, we cannot work in isolation. We have shown that we are stronger when working with our partners from across the Edmonton region, and with the work already underway between Innovate Edmonton and Platform Calgary, we should not only support that work, but we must expand on it to develop an economy that is truly competitive in the global sense. So what's next from this is working to engage a number of the different groups across both regions, and that can be groups like Edmonton Economic Development Corporation, Edmonton Global, Calgary's economic development groups, may even involve the two councils engaging a little more directly with each other on this. We have an opportunity working through Alberta Urban Municipality Association, or AUMA, as the conference for AUMA is going to be hosted here in Edmonton later this September. So my hope is that over the next few months we can really begin these conversations, and I plan to start these conversations and see what steps exactly we need to take to move this further and further, because this won't all happen overnight, but at the same time, when I see what's happening across the world, we can't wait forever. We don't have the luxury of time to wait forever when the rest of the world's economy is moving so quickly. So I'm interested in your feedback, in your comments. Please take some time to share them below, and look forward to the ongoing discussion about this issue and any ideas that you want to share as we go forward and how we make sure we have a globally competitive economy here in the city of Edmonton. Thanks everyone for watching.